Hello, friends.
Hello.
And welcome to Pickles and Vodka, the mental health podcast, where sometimes we have a surprise for you. Such as I am one of your co-hosts, Lauren, and here's your surprise co-host.
I am Vikki, and I am thrilled to be here today as a co-host. We also have Taco, who refuses to get off of our laps.
Desperately wants to be on both of our laps. Christina is not able to record this week, and I had suggested attempting to do it on my own, which is going to be fun because I don't know how to do any of this stuff. And then I thought of asking Vikki to come, and she agreed.
Yay.
So, where you at? I gotta ask you that.
I'm not used to being asked that question. I'm doing well. I am... Taco! I am struggling with my job right now. If I had to say, like, my biggest stressor, it's my job. I'm just mentally checked out. I feel like I need to find something different, and that's stressful because I don't like change. I would unhappily stay somewhere rather than go through the ordeal of finding somewhere else. So I need to figure out what I want to do because what I'm doing right now is not working.
That sounds exactly like me, so I get that. Then I will do the same thing. I will stay somewhere where I am unhappy because I'm just like, I can make it work. But
yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's just like, okay, I know I'm not happy. I'm not feeling fulfilled. There's probably something better out there, but it's easier to just stay put.
And, I mean, the podcast is, of course, the perfect place for me to be, pushing this one, but we are hiring again.
Oh,
at my job for the spot that I said that you would probably be best at.
I have thought it over. I think the commute would do me in, even if it was only a couple days a week. But I'll definitely give it a little more thought.
Yeah, I'll talk to you more about it later. But what's interesting to me is we just hired somebody, and they mentioned that she's only in the office one day a week. And I was like, well, how did she work that out? Which makes me wonder.
Maybe I could do that.
Exactly, because of where you live. But
yes. Okay, I'm suddenly a lot more interested.
These are logistics that now the listeners are just like, who cares?
Yeah. All right, Taco, I don't know if this is going to work. He is like bouncing between both of our laps. He is happy as can be, but it's very distracting.
Taco believes he is a lap dog, but he's actually an insane dog.
All right, bye, Taco.
Go cuddle in your blanket.
Yeah, Lauren just hoisted him gently off of her lap, so we'll see how long this lasts. Where are you at? I know I just gave a very quick answer, and there's probably more I could say, but
it'll come out as we talk more. I am. I get this question every week, so for me, it's like, oh my god, I got to answer this again every single week. Can I never not be at? But, I think because I keep saying that I feel like it's a lot of just like the same things, but I might have talked about last time, and as like more specifically, as far as just kind of being like bummed out that Pico's not with me anymore, is like it was harder to get through holiday times. It was like starting with Thanksgiving, like last year for Thanksgiving. I mean, since I've lived far away, I never do anything with family really for Thanksgiving. I don't expect to. I'm more likely to see them at Christmas. And so last year, knowing I had nothing, then I found out there was like a big dog show on Thanksgiving Day. And that was my plan. I was telling everyone, I was like, I'm so excited. You know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving? I am going to have a fancy cheese and wine party and watch the dog show. And the only other person who's invited is my dog. But yeah, so it's, Taco's here and he's making himself known.
Yes.
And he's very sweet and a very good cuddler, which I appreciate, But
he's not Pico.
Yeah, still Pico was here at this time last year, so it's sad.
Yeah, I get that. Anything else new to report before we dive into our hastily assembled topic?
Yeah, I think like we said, it'll come out as we talk.
Okay. Sounds good. So do you want to bring up the topic?
So, do you want to? Because I put it in my phone. I don't remember it exactly. Vikki actually came up with the topic.
Yeah, so I thought we could talk about and kind of fill in the blanks. It can be from the past or present on the topic of feeling crushed under the weight of blank. And as I started thinking about it, I got so many different ideas, like crushed under the weight of expectation, under the weight of unrealized potential.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Crushed under the weight of disappointment. Crushed under the weight of grief.
Yeah.
Crushed under the weight of... what else could there be? I mean, the possibilities are endless. And actually, as I started thinking about it, as I look back over different periods of my life, I could answer that question with a lot of different things.
Well, one of the very first ones you said is similar to my, maybe slightly different, but very similar to my first thought, because I think you said under the weight of expectation.
Yes.
My first thing was, I thought, crushed under the weight of obligation.
Oh, yes. I feel like so much of, quote, adulting is just living up to what everybody expects of you. And by everybody, I mean your boss, your partner, the state you live in, because you got to pay your taxes and you got to register your car and like so many obligations. And it is literally maddening trying to keep up with it all. And it feels very, very tiring.
Or just, I feel like the general expectations of the world.
Yeah.
That, you know, they expect like, everyone's supposed to want this kind of life. Why aren't you doing that?
Yeah. Yes. And feeling obligated to do something, you are never going to give it your best effort. Like,
True.
If you're only doing it because you feel like you have to, it's not going to turn out good, I don't think.
No, I mean, going from early on, I felt like, I would say I felt obligated to go to college and get a degree. I literally never had that decision for myself. It just was what you did.
That is absolutely true. Absolutely. And I know when I went away to college, first of all, yes, it was expected. Anyone who had half a brain was expected to go to college and continue your education. Mm-hmm. But there was like no real discussion of, okay, whatever you pick to major in, is that going to lead to an actual job? That will actually pay you money? Because the number of people who majored in things like creative writing or...
Are you calling me out?
or political science, you know, like either it was supposed to be a bridge to something else, like a law degree or, you know, something further education-wise. But as far as like, what will this degree get me in the real world and help me find an actual job? That was never even discussed.
No, and I feel like I was kind of thinking that way, but it didn't help do me any favors either. Because of that, I tried to force myself into things I had zero interest in. When we had our like senior year awards, and that's what they announced everybody, you know, like where they're going to school and what they're going to study. I said I was going to study physical therapy.
Where did that come from?
Exactly. It probably like sounded interesting for a day, and I thought that I could get a job. So.
Yeah. Yes, that crushed under the weight of obligation. I feel that. Mm-hmm. I absolutely feel that. And, like, relatedly, crushed under the weight of responsibilities.
And by the way, I did not major in physical therapy, even for one single day. I changed some other mistake majors, but that one never even made it. So that's how silly that was.
And I started as an English major. I had a falling out with the chair of the English department, and in a fit of stupidity, as only a 20-something can be stupid in this way, I decided I didn't want to be an English major anymore. I went to the academic advisor and said, you know, I'm in my third year of college. What can I switch to that won't set me back too far? And I ended up a political science major. And then suddenly it was like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be a political journalist, or I'm going to go to law school. None of which ever happened. Right. And none of which I really was excited about. It was like I felt like I was on this track that I couldn't get off of.
Yeah, I mean, one of my earlier ones I know is I majored in architecture for a while, and that's because I'd always liked artistic things. And that sounded to me like, well, that's a profession that uses art, right? But I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to design buildings.
No, but actually, I feel like some of my issue goes back to the fact that anytime anyone asks me what I wanted to do with my life, or if you could go anywhere and do anything right now, what would it be?
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever have a good answer for that. And I don't know if it's because I don't know myself well enough, or I don't dream big enough, or whatever it is, but I'm a blank when someone asks me those kind of questions.
Honestly, this is interesting because I don't know when. It definitely was like well after I went to school and got my degree. You know, it might have been like in my late 20s or something like that. I have the perfect answer for that. And I have wondered sometimes, like, if I had known this when we're all supposed, we're all supposed to know our future when we're 18.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know who decided that.
Yeah.
My dream job, I realized, is to be the person that picks out the music for soundtracks for movies and TV shows.
Oh.
I cannot imagine anything more fun. And you know what? If I knew that at 18, I might have, like, known a path to get that.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
But when you don't know that until you're, stuck doing a random accounting job because you had to pay the bills, and you just feel like, I'll just stay here.
Well, and that kind of leads to the other thing I was thinking of being crushed under the weight of unrealized potential. Because I think about you with your musical abilities, and, it was recognized at a pretty young age that you were very talented. You went to Interlochen, which was quite prestigious. Do you feel like you were kind of crushed under the expectation that you would go far in music, or you would make something of yourself in music?
I think that's another one, and maybe I was just, this, like, realist/pessimist kid. Because a lot of people thought going to school that I would, of course, you'll major in music. And I know I was immediately just like, yeah, but I don't think I'm going to get a job from that.
So you were practical.
Yeah, and I always have thought that I feel like one of the best things there was actually going to Interlochen, because there are so many, like, the very best of the best.
Yes.
Like, if I had not gone there, I would have been the best piano player in my hometown, in my area, and everyone, would have been, like, kissing my butt the whole time, like, oh my god, she's amazing, there's no one better. But I remember the first year I went to Interlochen and realized, like, oh, in this group I'm average. There's some real superstars here, and I can hold my own, but I'm not great, I'm right in the middle.
And that's okay.
Exactly. I was fine with that, but I think that was a good lesson to learn.
Well, and when I was thinking about unrealized potential or expectations, it was reminding me about writing.
That's exactly what I was thinking first.
I have always loved writing. I loved the creative writing. I even liked writing research papers, just have always loved writing. I had an 8th grade English teacher who said she'd be looking for my name on the New York Times bestseller list. Like, convinced I was going to write some best-selling novel. I have never written anything worth anything as an adult. Like, I mean, I was on the school paper in college, whatever. But I've attempted to try, National Novel Writing Month, couldn't stick with it. So what was with all that writing talent? I had a college professor who told me that in her, whatever it was, 20 years of teaching at the college level, I was the best natural writer she had ever encountered. And I think about that now, and it's like, okay, so what did I do with that? I've done nothing. And I know I still have time. I'm not dead yet. But whatever has held me back from, pushing forward with writing, I would need to break through whatever that is in order to ever accomplish anything. So that's one of the things that I feel crushed under, is like the expectation I could have done something really amazing with my writing, and I've never done squat.
Yeah, because as you were talking, that's what I was thinking. I mean, how long have I read your live journal entries? So.
Yes, I mean, I did have people back in those days always encourage me, like, oh, you should put these entries together, you should write a book. And, near the end of my time, writing regularly on LiveJournal, it was when Patreon came out, and I had people saying, I would pay to read your writing. And I was like, are you kidding me? But I don't know. It's stuff like that I think about now, and it's like, I wish I would have done something with writing, and then I feel like, well, what can I do now? Yeah,
so that's the kind of thing that I was thinking about it, is there's got to be something holding you back other than the writing, because that's where, like, I've witnessed you have the talent.
Yeah.
Like, that's there. But like you said, it's, I don't know if it's discipline, it's doubting yourself, it could be any of these things.
I think a lot of it is doubting myself and just feeling like anything I have to say has already been said and probably better. So it is some of that self-doubt, definitely. But yeah, just in these last couple of days when we proposed this topic, it has gotten me thinking like, quit complaining about it. And if you do feel disappointment that you didn't make a go of writing in some fashion, then do something about it. So
yeah, like you said, it can still happen always.
Yes, that is true.
I think another one I wanted to talk about a lot was the idea of like crushed by your past.
Yes. Expand on that.
What I was thinking of first with that particular side is sometimes I look back and I feel embarrassed that I may have overshared in situations, and you can't take that back. And hopefully everyone's forgotten, but like we know, we talk about like with Christina that she has been very open about all of her struggles and stuff like that, and I am not so much. And she's not the first person that I've seen like that. And I think there's been sometimes where I've gotten almost kind of jealous of people like that, and I'm just kind of like, I see like the kind of response they get, and I feel like I wish I could get that kind of response, but I can't because I'm the way I am. But, then you just have to change. So maybe I try to put myself out there more, and I've done that sometimes, and then I've had backlash. Like, ooh, now everyone's gonna think like she's the girl that's like messed up like this because she, like detailed it all for a year.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot to be said for just brutal honesty, though. And whatever you're going through, if you're honest about it, if you're not embellishing it for dramatic effect, you're just laying the truth out there. And, if people can't handle that, that's kind of more on them. Yeah.
I think it's hard for people in general, sometimes, I think, to realize that other people change. Like I feel like yourself changing. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you forget that other people have to.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I worry about. Some of the mental health stuff. I feel like the eating disorder would be the hardest one, where I can look back and I'm like, yeah, I know. There were times where literally that was my life. So yes, I made it my life. So if I talked about it, that is how I felt. But now I don't feel like it's my life. And I don't want people to like still remember me as that's who she is.
Yeah, I totally get that, but that could also be a bit of worrying too much about what other people think.
Oh, true. I definitely do that. That happens.
Yeah, that goes without saying. What about crushed under the weight of grief?
Well.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. That's pretty, timely.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's, everyone likes to say this, the same little platitudes, like grief is different for everyone, but and you can't tell someone how to, but I'm like, both of those things are really, really true, and you don't know until it happens. I mean,
yes,
I'm sure you know a lot about that too.
Yeah. Grief is a weird subject for me because I feel like I've done some reading on it, exploring, best ways to get through loss. And what you said is true. People grieve in different ways, but it doesn't help you when you're grieving to know that.
Right.
And when you're feeling all sorts of different feelings, whether it's sadness, whether it's resentment, whether it's anger at somebody who's not even here anymore, you kind of want to know, what do I do with these feelings? And that's where I've really struggled. And I feel like in some ways, when it comes to the grief I've experienced, because I don't really have an answer for that, what do you do with those feelings? I just pushed them all away, and after my mom and dad both passed away, I was an utter mess. I was not even really living. I was just existing. And somehow worked through that, but in some ways I never really did. I became a more functioning adult and I moved on. But there's just so much that I feel like I'm still burying.
Well, and that was, you know, people haven't heard your other episodes. How far apart was their passing? It was like
less than 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a lot for a person to handle just in general.
Yeah. But yeah, what's hard, though, is, like, I feel like there is a part of grieving that requires you to kind of pick up and move on and find a new normal. So in some ways, you're kind of encouraged to, you know, stuff it down or compartmentalize or something. But yeah, I think I need to do a lot more thinking about this, because definitely when it comes to grief, I do feel like it is still affecting me, but I think it's affecting me in ways I'm not even aware of.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can, you know, like, talk about something that has changed with Pico. Because, I mean, obviously, immediately after, I'm just upset that my dog is gone.
Yes.
But I have noticed in the past few weeks, or months maybe, so, you know, we've talked about this on the podcast, and, I just call him the boyfriend on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Vikki knows the real name.
I won't say his name.
But yes, but I try not to let people that don't know they're being talked about.
Yes.
But, like, in the beginning, and I mean, I told him from the start, I did not blame him for what happened, and I still don't blame him for what happened. But in the beginning, it was different that, like, he didn't get rid of his dog right away, and I could not go over there because I was not going to be able to face that dog. And eventually I decided, I was like, literally, I don't think that I'm ever going to be able to face that dog, so I just don't go over there. But at this point, it's been like 9 months.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be going on a year.
Yeah.
That, you know, he and I are still together, but I still can't go over to his place. And so, like, that has not changed the fact that I'm like, I still, like, in no way blame him for what happened. And I never, you know, could even, like, consider that a thing. But now I'm getting resentment that I still can't go to his place. Like, haven't you realized this is an issue?
Yeah. I mean, we have talked about this a lot. And I mean, it's one thing to say that you don't blame him for what happened. Obviously, it was a tragic freak thing that could not have been, you know, seen ahead of time. But you can blame somebody for their inaction and, you know, their lack of follow through. And I don't know.
And that's what it feels like, is I feel like if I tried to bring it up, I mean, I suppose I could do my job and actually try to see if he understands. But, you know, my gut feeling is that the way he would take that is, you know, like, oh, you know, maybe I was wrong, and, you know, I thought that we could get past this without you, you know, like, hating me for what happened, but you know, like, I knew it secretly was always going to come to the surface that you would, and I'm like, no, this is actually a brand new thing, is why I'm getting angry. Like, I consider them different things.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, like, try and predict how he'll respond, though.
Exactly.
So it probably is a conversation that needs to happen.
As I think we said earlier in this episode, I do a little bit of mind reading.
Yes. What is another thing you may feel like you have been crushed by the weight of, either in the past or you're dealing with it now? Can you think of anything else?
Give me just a second. I think I took some notes in my phone.
Hold on, listeners. She is on her way back with her phone and with her faithful dog companion, Taco.
Oh my god, yes.
You hear the pitter-patter of little Taco feet.
Yeah, I was going to say, Christina's the one that does all the fancy editing, so I'm probably going to have to upload this, awkward pauses and all.
Yeah, so normally that pause would have been filled with, like, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
No, not this time.
We talked about that one, obligation/adulting.
Oh.
I said being alone in the world.
Oh.
And I think, I mean, even though I am in a relationship and have been for over a year, so, you know, that seems pretty secure, I would say some of that fear is still there, but for sure that has characterized much of my life in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that. Like, I have always been somebody, throughout high school, college, whatever, who felt like even in a crowd that you were alone or you were different or, somehow didn't fit in.
Yeah, I felt like, I don't know, a lot of growing up, I had good friends, but I felt like it wasn't the same connection that I see with other people where you are like part of a pair. So it always still felt like I could just be left free floating easily, or, I have this friend that wants to do things with me all the time. But at the end of the day, it's just me fighting for myself.
Yeah, I get that. I do. But what you said just made me think also about making assumptions. Like when we see other friends hanging out and you think that they have a deeper connection.
True.
How do we know what their connection is?
Yeah,
we're making assumptions.
Be feeling the same way. That's true.
So I think that making assumptions all goes back to like a low self-worth, low self-esteem, and thinking, there is something inherently flawed about you.
Yeah.
What a happy thought.
We're not here to share happy thoughts.
Oh gosh, yes, I have struggled with maintaining healthy relationships my whole life. When I was young, I was a chameleon, and I told a lot of lies. I went from a private school to a public school, and I made up stuff about my friends and what my old life at my old school was like. When I was in high school, I switched to a private high school for my senior year. I made up lies about what my previous life was like at my high school. I made myself more popular, because just being me was never enough. And so then it was like I had these friendships that were based on literal lies. People who thought they knew me and they only knew what I was telling them, which a lot of times was not true.
We all thought she was like 3 years younger on LiveJournal. Just because everyone else was.
Yes, I made myself the same age as everyone else without ever coming right out and saying that until at one point I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to come clean. But just that feeling of there's something deeply, deeply flawed about who I am as a person. So I needed to invent a persona.
Mm-hmm.
And then no wonder you feel like you don't have genuine connections with people.
Yeah, I don't think that I had quite the confidence to go that far as to make it up and tell people. I have learned over the years, I mean, a lot of people like to say this, and I don't think it's because I have so much morality about it, but I am very, very bad at lying. Ooh. I'm really afraid that I'm going to get caught. I'm super, super bad at lying, even just silly ones. So I've learned not to try and do that. But definitely, even though I didn't make up a whole past to tell people, I still know anytime there's a new situation, I go to college or I move to a new city, it's like I can become a new person. I don't have to make up a different past. I just erase it. And we start from scratch, and I will be who I want to be. And
the idea of fresh starts has always completely, compelled me. I love the idea of a fresh start. Mm-hmm. Whether it is, I'm moving to a new apartment, and I'm leaving bulimia behind. I will never purge in this new apartment. Or I'm starting a new job, and I'm going to become perfect at managing my money, and I'm not going to, spend on stupid crap. The idea of just, starting over,
Even I found that I will have times where I'll get something everything to have a good skincare routine. And that's what I'll tell myself is just, every single night and every single morning, I'm going to take time to wash my face and toner and moisturize. And I'm going to have beautiful skin in a month because I'm not going to miss a single time once. It's
how has that worked for you?
Never.
Yeah, and actually, I'm surprised that I've not been someone who really leaned heavily into New Year's resolutions.
Same.
Because, I know in the past I have made some, and they've almost always been diet, exercise related.
Mm-hmm.
This time next year I'm going to weigh X pounds less. Whatever it is. I have become aware in the last few years, though. I never stick to a New Year's resolution, so I don't even try.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what turned me off from them too, because I'm also somebody that, loves a new start, loves the idea that from here on out I'm going to do everything perfectly, which is never the case.
Like a new notebook or a new day planner.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you're like afraid to write in it, so you never do. I don't want to wreck it.
But I think, the realism eventually came into play when I had enough New Year's resolutions that were failed within 2 weeks. It's like, okay, I think that is really what turned me off from them.
All right. Do we have any others? Did you see in your phone notes? Did it jar your mery? Or have we kind of covered the ones you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I think the other ones are ones we've talked about. So, I don't know, unless anything else, or, if anybody else has felt crushed by something that they wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Sure.
As I was thinking of the topic, I was like, gosh, at different times in my life, I feel like I could give an answer, like, crushed under the weight of something. And then I'm like, am I just over dramatic? Like, that sounds very dramatic to be crushed. Like, yes.
I'm always feeling crushed by the weight of the world. Right now I'm being crushed by the weight of Taco.
Yes. Taco has been a bit of a challenge, not gonna lie. We did try to put him down for a bit, and he was whining, and so now he's back on our laps.
Kind of trying to be on both at the same time.
Yes.
But
we love you, Taco.
Taco, growl at all the listeners. Nope.
No, just kissed her nose.
Yes. All right. I meant that affectionately. I've learned that means, he's like excited and he loves me as he stares into my eyes and growls.
Yes. It's his way of communicating.
Yes. All right. So, I don't know if I'll be doing this by myself next week, or Christina will be back, or I'll make Vikki come back, but
who knows?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
If you like what you heard, tell a friend about the podcast. You can send them to picklesandvodka.substack.com, where they can listen to our entire catalog and find our newest merch. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us a voice message at speakpipe.com/picklesandvodka. My personal Instagram is at xtinajumper, and Lauren's is at Lauren3_AFH. We'll see you next week.